G'day guys and welcome back to Ados the Great YouTube channel. So guys, I am still struggling a little bit with the good old COVID. I don't want to say it too loud because YouTube might get me in trouble. But yeah, look, I'm not going to lie. This has knocked me for 10. I'm still out here bringing you content, and that is my goal for this week is to not miss a daily upload. I've been doing daily uploads since August 1st last year. We've got 3 days to get this done. I am recording this Friday before the Melbourne Storm Warriors game. So these stats will be a little bit, how you going? Like they're not going to be, because I'm recording this on Friday. It'll probably get uploaded Saturday or Sunday. So the stats won't all be, updated from this weekend's games, I should say. So yeah, welcome. This is my personal 10 underrated players in 2022. Now I know a lot of you guys will probably disagree with some of these, and that's fair enough. It's complete. Everybody's going to have a different 10. They're obviously going to have a different 10. I do have an honourable mention in there because one of the kids on here is fast becoming one of my favourite players. He has gone down with injuries and stuff this year, which has probably dented his chances at more NRL games. We'll get to him shortly. Let's jump straight in, guys. Starting at number 10, I've got Zach Hosking from the Brisbane Broncos. Now, I believe Zach's played 2 games for the Broncos. In those 2 games, he's made 33.5 tackles per game at 94% efficiency. For a bloke to come into the NRL, play his second game, and only miss, a small amount of tackles, 94% efficiency. I'm sorry. 94% efficiency is really, really good. So I think that's just kudos to him. He's been amazing. 148 meters per game and 1 offload per game. Like, those stats speak for themselves. He's a gun, and I am very, very surprised the Broncos haven't stuck with him on the bench. Now, he's come close to scoring a try. He's been another breath of fresh air that the Broncos need. Well, I do believe there are players that could be taken out of the team for him to be included. I honestly think he needs to be included in that team. I really do. All right, number 9, Jacob Kiraz, the bulldog, I guess you can say. Kiraz is, from his debut, he's been outstanding for the Doggies. He's played 9 games this year. I think that first game, Bulldogs fans they were so surprised when he got taken back out of the team after initially being named there. In 9 games, he's made 37 tackle breaks, 4 line breaks, 131 meters per game. So he's been outstanding for the Bulldogs. He is a worker. He gets jobs done. He takes those tough runs. He'll go up against front rowers. He's not afraid. So I really like that from Jacob Kiraz. I think he would start for most teams, in my opinion. I just think there's a lot of potential there for Jacob, and I'm sure he will have a huge NRL career. He is my number 9 spot, and he could be higher on this list, to be honest, but I just think the players above him, at the end of the day, for him and Hosking, we have only seen a few. Well, we've seen more from Kiraz, but we haven't seen that many NRL games to determine if they're underrated. I just think that, and when I go to my honourable mention, you'll see why I haven't added him into the actual top 10. Remembering, guys, this is my list, so I would not be mad if you guys drop your comments down below and said, hey, this is my top 10. I just think these are my players that I think are extremely underrated. So yeah, I just think, you could probably put Jacob Kiraz on even some top 8 teams, and he'll still put up really good stats. So I don't think these are empty stats. I actually think he does improve the team when he's out there. So he's my number 9. And number 8, I've got Sean O'Sullivan. He's only played 5 games. It'll be 6 today. In those 5 games, he's had 6 try assists, 6 line breaks. For a half, this next stat is crazy. 123 tackles this season at 93% efficiency. I think the benchmark for most halves is like around the 88 mark. So that is really freaking good. To tackle that efficiently for a half, that's amazing. I think, obviously Penrith see something in him because when Cleary was out earlier this year, and, if Cleary were to, I know Luai's injured and that's why Sean's getting his shot, but if Cleary was to go down later on in this season, whether that be an injury or suspension, I think that Sean O'Sullivan could 100% play Cleary's role as well. So we're obviously going to see how he goes tonight. He might have a shocker. I don't know. But, very, very good stats, realistically. 347 kick meters a game. That's not bad either. Like, he puts up pretty good stats. And I honestly think he's going to be an absolute weapon for the NRL Dolphins. So he is my number 8. I think those stats speak for themselves. 5 games, 6 try assists. He gets at least 1 a game. That's really good. That is really good. So I think, those stats speak for themselves. He's a weapon. Number 7, Chad Townsend. Again, you guys may disagree with this. I think Chad is highly underrated. Everybody's talking about the signing of the year, and we don't see too many say Chad Townsend. I'm a huge Adam Reynolds fan. I really am. And do I think he deserves signing of the year? Probably. But this man needs to be spoken about. I honestly do think he will challenge Adam Reynolds for the signing of the year. When you look at it, the Cowboys are sitting pretty at second spot on the ladder. They play Sunday afternoon, I believe. So I don't know what his stats are going to look like for that game. But I dead set 11 forced dropouts this season. 376 kick meters a game, 15 try assists, 8 line break assists. He's been phenomenal. He has been amazing this year. And while you guys might go, well, those stats don't really, they're not the best stats for a half. It's his leadership. What he does on the field and off the field for the Cowboys really helps them and has helped them go to the next level. I don't think anybody thought that. I think they came 15th last year. I don't think if you told me they were going to be second with 6 weeks to go, I would have laughed at you. But Chad Townsend has done this. He's turned them into a premiership contender. I honestly believe that. And I think that is why he is underrated. People laughed at this signing when he came over to the Cowboys, and I honestly, I didn't think he'd do this to them. Like, just his leadership has he's lifted the morale of the whole team, and this is what the Cowboys needed, was someone like this. So shout out to Chad Townsend, man. Honestly, I think he is one of the most underrated players in the league. All right, number 6, Dane Laurie. You guys might laugh at me about this one too, but if Dane Laurie was doing this on a top 8 side, he'd be going down as bloody one of the best fullbacks of all time, I reckon. So 13 games, 9 try assists, 48 tackle breaks. That is crazy. 7 line breaks and 120 meters per game. The meters is a little bit on the shorter end, but man, he is a workhorse. If we just have a look at the stats he put out last weekend against the Cowboys, probably should have put them on here as well, because That was remarkable what he did against North Queensland. Oh, you're going to be a pain, aren't you? Cowboys, here we go. Stats. 184 metres from 13 runs, 12 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 1 line break assist, 10 tackles. Man, he had 3 one-on-one tackles. He had 2 try assists. The man went crazy last weekend, and I honestly think he is one of the most underrated players in the game at the moment. I just, while a lot of you'll probably say, well, yeah, look, he is a little bit underrated. He's a little bit underrated, but at the same time, if he's actually that great, why isn't he leading the Tigers to wins? Could say the same for Kalen Ponga. Kalen Ponga is a great player on a pretty poor team, not leading them to wins either. So, you put Kalen Ponga or Dane Laurie on the Storm, they're probably not putting up the exact same stats that they are there, but I honestly think they could take those teams, another step higher. I honestly do. So, yeah, that's why I've got Dane Laurie at 6. I think he's in a struggling system at the moment when they sort of find, the pieces they need to put in place, coaches, etc. I think they're going to be fine. But, Dane Laurie for me is number 6 on this list. Number 5 is a rabbit, Campbell Graham. Now, look, I don't think Graham will play State of Origin. That's heartbreaking. Because personally, he is one of the better centres in the NRL. Yes, Tom Trbojevic and Latrell Mitchell are better. And if you were picking a player based on the position they play all year, I think Campbell Graham is a shoo-in for State of Origin. But let's go over his stats. So in 15 games, he's got 8 try assists. That's pretty good for a centre. 48 tackle breaks, again, really good for most centres. I know Joey Manu's probably a little bit above him there, but we'll get to Joey in a second. Spoiler alert. 7 line breaks, 140 metres a game. And this is a stat that gets me now. I think most centres average around the 82 to 85% efficiency. Some are a little bit higher. 19 tackles a game at 90% efficiency. So nearly 20 tackles for a centre at 90% efficiency. That is extremely good. Extremely good. I don't think that people understand how good of a defensive player Campbell Graham actually is. You just look at the Rabbitohs when he's not there. I mean, they've got Jed Cartwright in there now, who is very defensive-minded as well. He doesn't offer the same attack that Campbell does either, but Campbell Graham is pretty much the full centre you want. He's good on the offense and the defense. So I just think that he's got a lot of players ahead of him, which in my opinion makes him underrated. But I think if you chucked him into State of Origin, he'd look absolutely fine there too. Here's my number 5. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this is a biased take from me, a South Sydney fan? Or do you think I've hit the nail right on the head with this one? Love to hear from you. Number 4. I'm probably going to butcher the name, but Hamole Olakawatu. I think I aced that one. I think I finally got one right. 16 games, 9 tries, 10 line breaks, 86 tackle breaks, 104 metres, 27 tackles per game at 92% efficiency. Man, for one, how he didn't start for Tonga is beyond me. How he only played 25 minutes for them, again, beyond me. How he didn't get a run for New South Wales, beyond me. He is such a good player. He is so tough. He gets the hard work done. I just think that he just gets overlooked. And when you look at it, 9 tries in 16 games for a second rower, that's not Jeremiah Nanai, is outstanding. 10 line breaks, 86 tackle breaks, 104 metres per game. Like that, they're just amazing stats. They really are. Like, I guess you could say that some second rowers do make some more metres a game, but it's the tackle breaks that stand out for me. You're not seeing too many second rowers putting up tackle breaks like this. I'll tell you that right now. So 27 tackles per game at 92% efficiency. Look, that's not the best. We see most second rowers up about that 30 to 35 mark at around the same, if not a little bit more efficiency. But it's just what he offers on his offense that, in my opinion, makes him underrated. Right, number 3, Dylan Brown. This one hurts me. He plays tonight against the Panthers. Cannot wait for that clash. I think it's going to be a cracker. So this year he scored 7 tries, 11 try assists, 10 tackle break assists. 10 line break assists, 24 tackles a game at 93% efficiency. Again, you do not see this sort of stuff from many halves. He is very defensive minded. Huge credit to him for that. 118 metres a game. That is another stat you do not see from halves. Not many. Like, you might see halves run for 100 metres occasionally, but not every game. He is outstanding. I think he gets, there's a lot of players like Jerome Hughes, Mitch Moses. Like, there's just so many players that people talk about, but nobody talks about Dylan Brown. And he's putting up stats that rival some of those players. So I think that's why he's underrated, is he kind of floats under the radar a bit. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about this take in the comments, because I know my top 3 might be a bit controversial, especially this one. At number 2, Joey Manu. Now, the reason I've got Manu here, and I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, look, he's very correctly rated. Everybody rates him very well. I disagree. We're so quick to talk about, and I love Latrell Mitchell. I love Tom Trbojevic. I love Matt Burton. If Joey Manu was an Origin player for me, he'd go straight into that squad. But because he's a New Zealand player, we don't really talk about him that much, because the international game isn't on the same level as Origin anymore. So these sort of players don't get talked on as much as, I'd probably like them to. So this year, Joey Manu scored 10 tries. He had 12 try assists. So that's 22 try involvements just there. 13 line breaks, 113 tackle breaks, which equates to 6 tackle breaks a game. Not many players are doing that, I'd tell you. 15 tackles per game at 84% efficiency. This is what I was talking about with the Campbell Graham one. Not many centres hit much higher than 85%, so that's why Campbell was on this list for me as well. Another big reason. He also runs for 132 metres per game. So all of this is enormous. This is huge for a centre, in my opinion. Like, you don't see too many people other than James Tedesco running for making 113 tackle breaks in a season at this stage of the season. Joey could be playing 5'8" or fullback on pretty much any other team. He's stuck out in the centres there, and he's doing an enormous job. I wish I gathered the stats that he put together when he played 5'8" or fullback, because they're immaculate as well. Like, you can put this man at any position, and this is why he's predominantly on this list, is that you can put him in nearly any position and he'll do a job. He will do the same job he does at centre at any other position on the field. I honestly believe that. That's why I've got him at number 2. Now, we're not going to number 1 yet. This is my honourable mention, and it might annoy some of you guys, but I really want to get this kid's name out there because he is a gun. Harry Rushton is my honourable mention. Harry Rushton in the New South Wales Cup this year in 9 games has scored 3 tries, 38 tackles a game at 95% efficiency, 121 metres per game. Huge stats there in the New South Wales Cup. And now I know you're going to say it's just the New South Wales Cup. He wouldn't take that over to NRL level. Let's look at his NRL stats in limited minutes off the bench. He's played 3 games. He's made 18 tackles a game at 97% efficiency in the NRL. 53 metres a game. You guys might go to me and say 53 metres, that's pathetic. Off the bench with limited minutes, making 18 tackles and 53 metres. It's pretty big. That's pretty good, honestly. At 20 years old, to have a 97% efficiency, making 18 tackles a game, that's pretty big. I just think the Raiders, I personally think the Raiders waste him a little bit because when he is fit, I know he does have a few injury issues, I believe, but when he is fit, he's an absolute gun of a player. He gets my honourable mention, and I think the stats say it all, to be honest. He's an absolute workhorse. Number 1, Joe Tarpany. Mate, how good is this man? Joe Tarpany in this season has made 49 tackle breaks, 17 runs a game, which is number 5 in the NRL, 1,269 post-contact metres, number 1 in the NRL, 30 tackles a game at 95% efficiency. Again, huge for Joey Tarpany. That's a good stat for him. To tackle that much and only miss a small amount of tackles is pretty huge in my mind. He offloads at least twice a game, which is 3rd in the NRL. He runs for 165 metres a game. Again, 3rd in the NRL. Absolutely huge stats for him, and you guys might be going, well, we think he's correctly rated. Again, same with Joey Manu. I think because he's not a State of Origin player, obviously can't play State of Origin, I think he gets sort of pushed under the rug a bit, and we forget about what amazing games he puts together. So, yeah, I just think that you don't see these stats very often. I mean, the last time we probably saw stats similar to this was Jason Taumalolo, and he won the bloody Dally M. So I think he won it. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he won the Dally M. It's been a while now, but he's putting together amazing stats, and I just think he doesn't get spoken about near enough as he should. So yeah, that's my take on my personal top 10 underrated players. This is not backed by the NRL, Fox Sports, anything like that. These are just simply my top 10. I'd love to hear what yours are in the comments below. There are a lot of players that missed out. I had so many written down. I had Blake Laurie. I had, Keon Kalol-Matangi, just to name a couple. There was so many more players I had written down, but these are the 10 that made my list. So let me know who you had down below in the comments, guys. I'd love to hear from you. But that is going to wrap it up from me, guys. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. I know this one's been a little bit of a longer video. I'll make sure to put little, what do they call, chapters in here so you guys know where to bloody stop. But yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you all so much once again. Please do comment your top 10 down below in the comments. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. It'd mean the absolute world to me. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.